are these people?
Alan MacLeod, another Indie Media Award honoree for MintPress News, another Indie Media Award honoree. Best of the best here, man. Go support these independent organizations. Alan's title, Rotten Apple. Dozens of former Israeli spies hired by the Silicon Valley giant. What do you mean? It's that Unit 8200 members. He says, Apple has made headlines in recent weeks for touting its commitment to privacy and human rights, rolling out tools to limit surveillance and spyware. But behind the corporate messaging lies a much darker reality. The company has quietly brought in dozens of veterans from Unit 8200, Israel's shadowy military intelligence unit known for blackmail, mass surveillance, and targeted killings. It's really weird that they're doing that in 2025 after Unit 8200 has been so instrumental in genocide. And yet they're bringing in the spies behind the genocide into Apple. Many of these hires took place as Israel escalated its war on Gaza and as CEO Tim Cook publicly expressed support for Israel while disciplining employees for pro-Palestinian expressions. You mean Tim Apple, according to Trump. Apple's deepening ties to Israel's most controversial intelligence raise uncomfortable questions not only about the company's political loyalties, but also about how it handles vast troves of personal user data. And how about these people getting access potentially to it and funneling it to Israel? There's no risk of that? A MintPress News investigation has identified dozens of Unit 8200 operatives now working at Apple. The company's hiring spree coincides with growing scrutiny of its ties to the Israeli government, including its policy of matching employee donations to such groups as Friends of the IDF and the JNF, the Jewish National Fund, both of which play a role in the displacement of Palestinian people. Why are they doing this? The intense pro-Israel bias at the corporation has led many former and current employees to speak out. This investigation is part of a series examining the close collaboration between Unit 8200 and Western tech and media companies. All basically reported on by Allen. Previous investigations examined the links between Unit 8200 and social media giants like TikTok, which Reef and Jesse covered 2 years ago on INN News. Facebook, which I think we covered last year, and Google also. And also how former Unit 8200 spies are now responsible for writing much of America's news about Israel and Palestine and holding top jobs at outlets like CNN and Axios. I think we covered that one too. If not, Reef and Colin did.
Yeah.
So, Israel's international reputation has taken a severe hit amidst multiple spying scandals and ongoing attacks against its neighbors. During this same period, Apple has ramped up its recruitment of former Israeli intelligence personnel. It reminds me almost of how the U.S. went after the Nazi scientists after Nazi Germany. The Silicon Valley giant has hired dozens of former agents for the controversial Israeli intelligence outfit Unit 8200, raising questions about the corporation's political direction, to say the least. Nir Shkedi is among the most prominent examples. From 2008 to 2015, he served as a commander and chief of learning at Unit 8200, leading a team of approximately 120 operatives who developed new artificial intelligence tools to perform rapid data analysis. Unit 8200 is at the forefront of this technology and is known to have used AI to auto-generate kill lists of tens of thousands of Gazans, including children. These tools helped the IDF bypass what it called human targeting, or bottlenecks, and strike huge numbers of Palestinians. Shkedi has been a physical design engineer at Apple's Bay Area campus since 2022. So before October 7th. Again, remember, this didn't start October 7th. These guys were already in place right? He spent time at in Maynard, Massachusetts. Now he's in Sunnyvale, but he spent a lot of time in Tel Aviv.
Yeah.
I wonder if his visa is going to be invalidated like the other people who support Palestine.
Oh.
Noah Gur is another senior Unit 8200 figure turned Apple employee. From 2015 to 2020, Gur rose to become a project manager and head of cybersecurity and big data development team at Unit 8200, where she, in her own words, invented creative technological solutions for high priority intelligence goals and managed 2 strategically important cyber projects for the IDF. One of the most important cyber projects Unit 8200 has launched in recent times is the September pager attack on Lebanon, an act that injured thousands of civilians and was widely condemned as an act of international terrorism, including by former CIA Director Leon Panetta, who we think is a piece of shit. While Gur was not personally involved in that operation, Unit 8200 has spearheaded similarly nefarious actions for decades. In 2022, she was hired by Apple as a system-on-chip design engineer. And again, but she actually located in Israel. So she stayed in country because, of course, Apple has an office in Tel Aviv. And her only other experience, by the way, was with Unit 8200, as you can see. She has no other experience. They hired her right out of the IDF 8200 into Apple, and she has no other work experience.
Yep.
That's a problem. Eli Yavotitsky, go ahead.
Alan's talked about, like, pretty much the pipeline from intelligence right out of college, right, to, tech companies, like, essentially just revolving door for all the intelligence agencies,
Right.
So they end up at Facebook and Meta and, all these tech companies. So
Eli Yazovitsky, meanwhile, was directly recruited from Unit 8200. Looks like she was too. In 2015, he left a high-powered 9-year career as a manager in the military unit to join Apple, where he rose to become an engineering manager. He's now since moved on to tech giant Qualcomm. They also make a ton of fucking cell phone chips, by the way. And guess who buys them? Apple. Unit 8200 is Israel's most elite and most controversial military intelligence unit. It serves as the backbone of both Israel's burgeoning tech sector and its repressive surveillance apparatus. See Where's Daddy and Lavender. The unit has developed cutting-edge technology like facial recognition and voice-to-text software to surveil, repress, and target Palestinians. The vast amounts of data gathered on the Palestinian population, including their medical history, sex lives, and search histories, have been used for coercion and extortion. That's coming here, by the way. If a certain individual needed to travel across checkpoints for crucial medical treatment, permission could be suspended until they complied. Information about extramarital affairs or sexual orientation, especially homosexuality, is exploited as blackmail material. But tell me how much Israel loves the LGBTQ community, right? One former Unit 8200 agent recalled that he was instructed during his training to memorize different Arabic words for gay so he could listen out for them in intercepted conversations. Internationally, Unit 8200 may be best known for its former, quote-unquote, because you never really leave the IDF, agents who created the notorious Pegasus software used by repressive governments around the world to spy on tens of thousands of prominent figures, including royals, heads of state, activists, and journalists. Among them, of course...
Palantir coming up.
Maybe. But among them was Washington Post columnist Jamal Khashoggi, who was assassinated by Saudi operatives in Turkey in 2018. There were also potential links to CIA with him, too, allegedly. While military service is mandatory for Jewish Israelis, You end up in Unit 8200 by accident. Described as Israel's Harvard, parents spend fortunes on STEM-based extracurricular lessons for their children in hopes that they'll be selected to join the IDF's most elite and selective unit. Those chosen are rewarded with lucrative careers in the tech industry upon completion of their service, like all the people we're talking about here. Given Unit 8200's documented history of violence, espionage, and surveillance, both domestically and internationally, it's worth asking whether tech giants should be hiring its alumni in such large numbers. Do you think there might be a problem there? Getty, Gore, and Yazovitsky are the most high-profile example, but they are far from alone. A closer look reveals that dozens of other Unit 8200 veterans have also secured key roles at Apple in engineering and hardware design. Again, 2022. It looks like they hired a bunch of people in 2022. And now they've been there 3 years throughout this genocide. You think they might have been suppressing the narrative a little bit in the hallways? Then you have in software and cybersecurity. This person was there since 2021. Okay, served as in 2020, between 2012 and 2016, and rose to a project manager during the assault on Gaza in 2016, hired in 2023. Guy Levy, another former intelligence analyst, now works as a software engineer. And we know what former intelligence analysts who moonlight as software engineers are actually doing. They're fucking spies. And then you've got the AI people, all right? Avital Kleinman, a 6-year veteran of Unit 8200, is now a machine learning algorithm engineer at Apple. You don't see any potential conflict of interest there, but you're expelling Chinese nationals? How? They have already been caught spying on us. Niv Lev Ari, currently a validation engineer, notes in his LinkedIn profile that he received a letter of commendation from Unit 8200 Commander Aviv Kochavi for his work in the unit. Then you've also got other technical roles. Okay, you've got an intelligence specialist, now in design verification engineering. You've got Gil Avniel, who spent over 5 years in the unit serving as a network engineer. The growing number of former Israeli intelligence operatives working at Apple doesn't seem to concern the company's senior management. CEO Tim Apple is known to strongly hold pro-Israel views and has spearheaded the Silicon Valley giant's collaboration with the Israeli state. Yes, I know I said Tim Apple. I was joking around because his name's Tim Cook, and Trump called him Tim Apple very famously in a meeting in 2017. Apple has acquired several Israeli tech firms and now operates 3 centers in the country, employing around 2,000 people. In 2014, Cook invited Israeli war criminal Benjamin Netanyahu to the company headquarters in Cupertino, where in front of the cameras, the two openly embraced. So when are we bringing up Tim Cook on the Hague charges for capitulating to all of Israel's demands on behest of a war criminal? The following year, Cook accepted an invitation from President Reuven Rivlin to visit Israel. So he made the trip, and I'm sure he made the pilgrimage, and he kissed the wall. It's a great privilege to host you and your team here, Rivlin said. Even for me, as one who prefers to write with a pen and paper, it's clear what a great miracle you've created when I looked at my staff and my grandchildren. He didn't create shit. Tim Cook didn't create shit. He was an executive. He's a manager.
Wait, why did he say his grandkids too? That's the other thing.
Right?
Yeah, he's making family with these people.
Well, not just that, but he's talking about his grandkids all have iPhones and iPads and everything else. Effusive praise for the Apple CEO has also come in the form of honors from pro-Israel organizations. So they've been kissing his ass for years. In 2018, the ADL presented Cook with its inaugural Courage Against Hate Award and its Never Is Now Summit on Anti-Semitism and Hate, where the organization described him as a visionary leader in the business community. Fucking garbage. In the wake of the October 7th attacks, Cook sent out a company-wide email expressing his solidarity with Israel. Quote, like so many of you, I'm devastated by the horrific attacks in Israel. He wasn't devastated by them murdering 233 Palestinians in 230 days prior to October 7th. No, he didn't give a fuck. And the tragic reports coming out of the region. My heart goes out to the victims. You mean the ones that were murdered by the IDF? Those who've lost loved ones. And all the innocent people who are suffering as a result of this violence. Violence perpetrated by Israel. Violence ignored and allowed by Israel that monitored that every inch of that fucking wall, and somehow they had no idea what was happening for hours? Really? Mm-hmm. You're still gonna go for that? Oh, okay. Yet, according to Apples for Ceasefire, which is a group of former and current employees opposing Israeli actions in Gaza, he has yet to say anything publicly about the mass devastation caused by the Israeli response to October 7th. Huh, how convenient. Indeed, the Silicon Valley Corporation has a policy of matching employee donations to groups such as Friends of the IDF, which raises money to buy equipment for IDF soldiers, and the JNF, an organization that participates in the theft and destruction of Palestinian land. Under Cook's leadership, Apple employees have been disciplined or even fired for wearing pins, bracelets, or keffiyehs in support of the Palestinian people. I wonder how many Palestinians work there. I'm guessing not many. Nevertheless, groups such as Apples for Ceasefire continue to speak out about what they describe as Apple's complicity in genocide. All right. There's a whole other thing about the unit of 8200 tech takeover and how it's not just Apple. All right. Among them is Axios correspondent Barak Ravid. That's a propagandist whose Middle Eastern coverage won him the prestigious White House Press Correspondence Award. Until at least 2023, he was a member of Unit 8200. CNN also hired at least 2 former agents to produce their news coverage, right? And that's so that, again, it's not just Apple. It's unthinkable that former intelligence agents of Hezbollah or Iran's Ministry of Intelligence or Russia's FSB or GRU would be hired en masse and trusted with our most sensitive data. Yet when it comes to Israel, the answer is different. Many of these employees are not even former agents and are directly recruited from Unit 8200 while still in active service, despite Israeli law explicitly prohibiting the group's members from identifying themselves or divulging their alliances. Unreal. Oopsies. Thus, in this light, it appears that those like Apples for Ceasefire, struggling to end the company's double standards, are fighting an uphill battle. Alan is as good as it gets. Again, go subscribe to MintPress News, support Alan MacLeod, follow him. He's everywhere. Telegram, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, you name it. If you're able to, and it means support the media you want to see, thank you so much. These people already do. Cash App, $, Indie News Network. co-fi.com/Indie News Network. PayPal.me/Indie News Network. At IndieNewsNow.com, there's a section to keep the media free. You can donate there. Or you can go to INNnewsletter.com or IndieMediaToday.com. Subscribe on a monthly or on a annual basis as well. You can sign up for a year. I love you all, and I thank you for being here. Y'all are the best. Support independent media because we need it more than ever, and we'll see you soon, fam.
We'll see you in a bit.
Mwah. Ciao, baby. Bye, Felicia.
No! We just fucking lost the stream!
You can't keep giving us nothing and think we're bluffing about coming for your heads. Why play civil if you won't listen? 50,000 died, and now we know our mission. We form a militia, make Congress a prison.